people want change, but they want that instant gratification in a sense.
Yeah.
But even now, along with that, if you look at your mindset, like how you used to be when you were a child, the imagination, boom, you remember that, dude.
Yep.
Playing with action figures, going outside, playing tag, whatever it was, everything was focused on play and just having fun and being in that moment.
All right, guys, part 2 with Adonis.
Yes, brother. Glad to be back. How you been,
Let's go, man. You've been blowing up.
Dude, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Been manifesting more people, waking up.
Yeah.
Just listening to the message. It's been freaking awesome, man.
People have been catching on to your laws.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Yeah.
I don't see people talking about the laws you're preaching.
Yeah,
Did you come up with these yourself?
These have been ones that I've learned from a long time ago, from I call him my wizard mentor from a very long time ago, and then ones that you could kind of say, yeah, would maybe be a download.
Put your own twist on it.
Exactly, yeah, 100%.
Right, so Law of Absolute Renewal, what is that?
So Law of Absolute Renewal. This one, I'm going to start this in a sense of going back biblically when Yeshua says you have to become anew, and Yeshua is like Jesus, his real name, Yeshua, but becoming a new version of yourself. You know, that's a big thing all throughout the Bible, is letting go of the ego, if you will, almost like an ego death, but becoming anew. And it's so important with whatever you're trying to manifest. The problem is if you stay in the same mindset, you stay as the same you, how are you going to get there? You probably heard this before, like Neville Goddard talking about, you know, creation's finished, reality's done. There's multiple versions of us. Whatever we assume, it's already been done. That timeline exists. Whatever we're trying to manifest, we have to become a new version in that. We have to become that new self, if you will. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny because we talk about creating that timeline, creating that version, but it already exists. We just are stepping into that place. Does that make sense?
Right.
And that's a big part of it. Even in myself, kind of where I am now, I've noticed I'll look back at old pictures and whatnot, and I'll be like, wow, doesn't even look like me. It was literally a different version throughout different parts of my life again and again and again. But being in that law, when you look at any of your manifestations, look at it through the lens of, okay, who do I need to be? What version am I now? What do I need to change within that? How do I actually change? And I think that's a big problem for everybody in this day and age, is change. That's a big thing. You know, people want change, but they want that instant gratification in a sense.
Yeah.
But even now, along with that, if you look at your mindset, like how you used to be when you were a child, the imagination, boom, you remember that, dude.
Yep.
Playing with action figures, going outside, playing tag, whatever it was, everything was focused on play and just having fun and being in that moment. Dude, now, I mean, most everything in our day is based off of fear or this control or, oh my gosh, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to change that? Instead of just letting go and being like, okay, I'm going to play life as this character. You know, I think maybe I've said this before, but I always like to look at life like this through the lens of superheroes. I mean, dude, take any Marvel character. Good happens to them, bad happens, but they're always themselves, or they're always getting better.
Right.
They're never focusing, oh my gosh, the outside, oh, the villains, oh, this is so bad. Like, I don't know who I am anymore within it. No, like, dude, Captain America is Captain America. He's always going to be Captain America, no matter what. And if you stay in that place of changing, renewing your mindset and becoming that new version, dude, that is literally the gold of it right there. If you just focus on that, you know what I mean? Look at yourself. Look at all the things that you have been doing each and every month, each and every year. Things just get better and freaking better.
Yeah, it's like a snowball effect.
Dude, 100% all the way.
Yeah.
But if we stay in the same place but expect a different result, it's like, isn't it Albert Einstein term, doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
you can't grow like that.
You can't.
You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Mm-hmm.
And most people do not want to do that.
Dude, 100%.
Like,
absolutely.
I mean, it's probably human behavior. I was having on a guest earlier, to survive.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just want to be comfortable.
100%.
But if you want to achieve massive results, you can't live like that.
100% within that. You know, I'll add within this. This is the first time I've ever said this here. Within this, ever been spoken within. If you want to truly manifest, really, really good, you have to understand there's 4 different types of energies. So the 3 of them you don't ever want to do. The 4th one is the one that actually makes things go forward. But I'm going to give you the first one that most people do is they obviously want something, they have a desire, but they don't put the effort in at all. They don't actually do any action towards it, yet at the same time coming to them, they expect a certain outcome. It's basically like two negatives. Yeah. There's no way.
So would that be a vision board?
Yeah, you could almost, yeah, in a sense, is part of like a vision board would be within that, absolutely, like how they want it to happen. But even more, it's more so, even this, us talking here, I have no expectations. I go into it, we're in the flow state. We're here having this conversation going within it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone has this expectation, oh my gosh, it has to be like this, and I expect all these things to happen, you're always going to be disappointed, and you're not going to get that manifestation. Now, in the same regard, most people actually do this where they put the effort in. They put the effort towards their manifestation. You are putting the effort all the way in, but you're expecting, again, a certain outcome. You are controlling the outcome. That energy doesn't work. There would be a plus sign of, yes, you are doing the work, but then a plus sign of you also trying to control the energy. It'd be like, think of a battery. The plus sign, the negative sign has to have that flow. The absolute thing that we do want to do, if you do this every time, this is how it works. To have that battery, to have that flow state, put in the effort that you have to towards your manifestation. Be that version. But here's the key. Let go of the expectation. Let it happen how it has to. You know, I often use this silly example. Let's say there's a woman, she really wants to manifest love, her specific person, her soulmate. She's been manifesting and thinking about this guy all this time, and she's trying to have a good day, and boom, she gets a flat tire. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. This is the worst thing ever. I'm so bad, already behind. Everything's so bad. That flat tire, so she takes it into the shop, and she meets the guy of her dream. Because of that flat tire is how she met this guy. And then boom, there she got her manifestation through it. See, the thing is, if she would just let go of the control of, hey, you know what? I got a flat tire. This is kind of inconvenient, but there must be a reason this is happening in my life. I'm going to let go of that control. You know, it's
I love that, dude.
And if you do that, I promise you, your life will be the absolute best it can be. Putting all the effort forward, but not giving into the expectations and not controlling, because God's always in control. God knows your heart. You know, that's the number one thing. If I could tell anyone, Yeshua knows your heart. He knows what you truly desire. The term, I think it's the Greek term desire, actually means to come from the Father. It's a message from God, if you will, on your heart. And if you just do the actions and you let go.
So that's the law of least effort you've talked about in your videos?
Exactly. The law of least effort.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love that, dude.
Absolutely.
I used to have negative events happen to me, and I used to react so emotionally charged and, you know, to have a victim mentality. But the biggest shift in my life has been to just ask why that happened to me.
100%. Dude, I do the same thing. I mean, even for myself, I mean, I know this stuff. I have really mastered it, but I'm still my own greatest student, because there's times where I'm like, oh, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I'll be like, wait a minute. Okay, it's not up to me to know how or why or how do I change it. It's just up to me to be that version of myself and keep going, keep going, keep staying within it, you know. And that's even part of the law of divine surrender within that, is giving into that place of, you know, the term like no F's given, you know what I mean? Or just, there's so much of that out there. Oh, I don't care about anything. I'm just going to let it go. Like, I'm going to go with the flow. People love to say that, but they don't do it. But if you truly do actually let go and go with the flow, dude, how great would life be? You know what I mean? Dude, imagine when you were a kid, you weren't like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, this isn't cool. Oh, I want Earth to look different. Oh, I want this to be, dude, you just, you know, like, dude, babies are literally infatuated by anything. They'll see something and be like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing. Dude, myself, I still try to do that. Because, dude, this is something that I really try to change about myself, is I do take things for granted all the time.
Really?
And I have to work on that so much to be in that place of gratitude where, dude, you know, I'll be so busy sometimes, and I'm on the phone with a client, and I'm sitting outside, my dog just wants me to throw the ball, and I'll play a couple times, and then I'm like, dude, come on. And I'll just forget, you know what, dude, I can still throw that ball. Like, he's not going to be around forever. There's going to be a time I would give anything to be hanging with my dog again. So I try to be in that place of let go, be in that place. Don't worry, don't care. Be so enthralled and so grateful for everything going on.
Dude, I love that because I can relate to that. My Australian Shepherd loves playing fetch,
Oh,
and he
that's
can play it
awesome.
for hours. But after like a few minutes, I'm like, I gotta work.
I love that, dude.
But like you
yes.
said, they won't be here forever.
They won't. And you got to enjoy that time, man. If you have a dog or if you have a cat, enjoy your time with them. Enjoy your time because it goes by, man. It really does. And there's no amount of money, there's no amount of anything that can bring those times back. And I think right now, especially in 2024, with all the fear, with all the going on, if we just stopped and were grateful for even the simplest of things, bro, it would be good.
Yeah. Do you believe animals choose their owners?
I feel in a way there definitely is something within that. I would love to study that more and understand that more because I believe everything has a soul to agree 100%. Dude, even plants, I think there's so much we don't know, and there's just so much that is just pushed under the rug. Oh no, that's an inanimate thing. That doesn't have emotions or care. There's nothing to it. Where I think, again, everything comes from source. Everything has an energetic state. There has to be something to that.
Well, plants definitely, they've done studies when you talk negatively to them, they die.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, you've studied billionaires and you've studied elite societies. Do you think they all use a form of spirituality?
Dude, 100%. 100%. The most obvious one, if you look at like just astrologically even, there's been so many major events politically, things that have happened right around this whole year, like a full moon's happening, the new moon's happening, something within that. I mean, dude, even if you look at right now, Kamala, she's a dragon year,
right.
And then Trump's a dog. I mean, it's when you look at this stuff, it's like, wait a minute, no, that can't be. No, and it really is. They're using all of this and even more. I'll say this, there's some things, I don't want to say too much on it, but my old mentor from way back in the day, he was part of some groups and he knew certain things that they did. Everyone kind of knows there's like the Freemasons and stuff like that. And some of these groups are doing obviously very dark, like not good things, but then they also will know things of the light, more things, kind of we could talk more within it, but like just different teachings of the Bible, like true different esoteric teachings of Yeshua, if you will. But yeah, dude, that's
like astrology, right?
Astrology, and then even just some of that ancient teachings. And there's certain words, even I'll say this, I truly believe this now that, we use spelling. When you put it together, we're spelling, we're creating spells. Our words create reality. And it's something, all of us now basically in first worlds have to go to school. We have to learn how to write. We have to learn how to speak. You know what I mean? And that's part of it. The people who run this world, I believe most times they let us manifest these things for us. We, not saying we do this, but in a sense, our fear kind of manifests some of the bad things that happen. When you think about it, if there's a terrible post about what's going on in this, this war's about to happen, or this is about to happen, and then we all get afraid about, oh my God, is this happening, that happening? That fear starts to happen. You know what I mean?
Wow.
If you really think about it, look at everything that happened in 2020. We kind of, I want to be careful the way I say this. Not that we allowed it, but there's some, you're either this side, or you're this, or you're not masked, or you are masked. Like there's very much, they let us kind of let the show play out.
Right.
That's where
they just put the messaging and then we kind of just went crazy,
100%.
right?
And that's where we got to be so careful on what you watch and what you take in. I try not to watch anything that I can't control.
Wow.
I think about that. If I can't control it, why should I watch it? If it's something so sad, so like I will pray for those in need there, but I don't want to get consumed in something that I know is just going to make me fearful and then in a sense hateful and angry, and now I'm the problem.
Right, because you see a ton of people on social media living in that fear and that hate, and it's that's what they want, right? They want to be able to control you
100%,
easier.
100%, man.
So when you have your own free consciousness, you're harder to control.
Absolutely. And you got to be careful even within that, because the more aware you are, dude, I feel it can be even more challenging, because you'll see stuff and you're like, bro, what are they talking about here?
Right.
Yeah. Nothing truly as it is as it seems, That's
For
a big thing.
Do you see people's consciousness levels raising right now, or do you see them dropping? Where do you see the trend going?
It's amazing right now. I think it's the most it has ever been. I think we are going in that direction. I think there's two things that are going to happen. I think those who are not awake are going to be even more within the term the matrix, if you will. I think in the next decade even, we won't even recognize the way the world is. But then there'll be those who are so awake, so much more aware of it. And, man, you know, I look at it like this. I think about even 200 years ago, if you look at that, we look back at things 200 years ago and we go, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they thought that way. I believe we're going in that same direction. We'll look back at things. We'll have new spiritual abilities, if you will, or certain things. We'll go, wow, how did, like, I can't believe we did that. I can't believe we thought this way, you know, but it's sad and scary because I believe there's always that category. There's going to be those who are not and those who are, in a sense, that are awake. But I believe at any point, people could wake up, oh, wow, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be like this. Maybe there is something else. Maybe I could change this or that, you know?
And I think over time, their souls will wake up, whether it's future generation
100%.
lives. I think everyone's here for
100%,
sole purpose,
absolutely.
right?
Everyone is. That's the thing. Everyone, I do believe, comes here knowing they have some purpose, some mission within that, you know? But it's that journey. And like we said even earlier, like if you are consumed by fear, if you're around people that are of a low vibration, that's where it gets very difficult.
Right.
You know? I think some people almost choose to be born in a really tough environment. Like, hey, I want to play life on very hard mode or extreme mode, you know?
No, I think that's true. Because
100%.
I'm sure you got ostracized from your family and friends, right?
Big time, all the way, yeah. And that's one thing that people don't talk about a lot is that it can be very lonely when you become more awake, but not in a conventional lonely. Maybe it's just there's, at least for me, and I know some of my clients that feel this way, where they're more aware and they're actually okay with keeping their circle smaller, if you will, you know,
because they're aware that the energy can negatively impact
100%,
them, right?
absolutely, 100% within that. Yeah,
it's tough though at first. It's scary.
Oh yeah, it's especially when you start to really change and you become awake. The thing I see the most in my clients is they're like, Adonis, what the heck happened? I just lost all these people. I lost this person. This person left my life. Like that or something leaves. And it's in that moment, that's kind of when it's like, okay, you didn't need that. That actually wasn't part of your journey.
It's holding
and
it back.
Okay to let that go.
Do you think it's possible to teach others to wake up, or do they need to go through their own events to wake up?
I believe you can it would be a tool, a roadmap, you know, like even with my clients, I give them so much. I manifest for them as well. I'm visualizing for them. I'm giving them my energy, but it is still up to them. You know, I look at it like this. I'm the power plant. The power plant sending electricity to the homes, but it is up to them to turn on the light switch and actually have that flow happen and have the light bulb go on. You know, I believe anyone can become awake in their own way, in a sense. You know what I mean? But it still is, I believe, always up to that individual.
Absolutely. So you've studied other dimensions and timelines, and your belief is that these commingle with each other?
Yeah, 100%. So this is very interesting. You know, a lot of people like to talk about past lives and stuff like that. And I'm going to say I don't believe it in the sense, or I do, but it's in the wrong context. I believe that at any time, like right now, multiverse theory, that there is a absolute infinite number of different versions of you. Right now, there's a version of you living 1,000 years ago. There's a version of you living 1,000 years ago in this earth. This earth could have been different from that one. Science especially is starting to point to that. There's even string theory, and they're saying, okay, maybe there is this multiverse theory, and then even beyond that, you know, the way that it's expanding and whatnot. And it's so interesting because like I said earlier, if you look back at yourself in different times, or just the way you would think, certain things you would do, at least for myself, and I've seen this in other people where I'm like, dude, who was that? Like, what version of me was that? It was a different thing. And I'll even say this. I think it's so apparent when you look at you growing up in the 90s. Like, that's not the same planet. Like, things don't even smell the same. Things don't feel the same. The sun doesn't seem the same. Like, there's something different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I can even say that within the early 2000s. And then even, I mean, if you look at from 2018 to 19, and then 2020 happened, like, there's so much different things going on there. And again, I feel people could say, well, I want to see all the proof. I want to see every, piece of evidence, all these. And the problem is so much of this stuff, you have to go off of your own belief and your own feeling of it, in a sense, because I just want to say this within it. There's so many things that are kept from us or we're lied to in a sense. I don't know if you saw this, but there was a recent video a few days ago. I saw this where it's grass-fed cows. The cows are in cages, but they just dump
I saw that.
all that. Yeah, and that's considered grass-fed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there we go again, BS. Because I'm thinking, no, if I want my cows to be out there grazing, having a good time, getting some sunlight and stuff like that, if I'm going to have grass-fed meat, you know what I mean? But it's that same thing is everything we think is one way. I believe it's the exact opposite. When you really take a look at these theories and the things that I'm saying here and think, maybe there is something to that, that, maybe there is different versions. And again, it goes back to the first thing that we said. When you change, when you actually make a conscious decision, not a subconscious decision, a true conscious decision to be like, I am being completely different. I am going to change everything from within myself. You give it a couple days even, just a couple days, reality changes right before your eyes. People show up differently. The people around you will show up differently. You have changed. Again, you're stepping into a different timeline. You might not be able to see it. It's not like it's something that tangibly, boom, happens in front of your eyes, but there's a change within it.
No, there is.
Yeah, 100%.
Even like to the smallest degree, I wanted a new pair of shoes last week. I had 3 fans send in custom shoes.
Is crazy.
Like
that is awesome.
It's nuts. Like just that indirect manifestation right there.
Yeah, dude.
And when you look into Mandela effects, it's like, wow, half the world doesn't even think this happened.
Dude, there's some crazy ones that have been happening more and more. And dude, that's funny you said that. The other day, this is so random within this, but I was taking a run and there's this one Lord of the Rings song. I always would listen to him, especially, dude, when I visualize listening to music like that. And I'm listening to it, and there's this one part of it that it'd been years since I heard this that was not the same. I didn't know if people are gonna think this sounds crazy, but dude, I actually almost got physically sick because I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, like I started getting. I'm like, this is not it. I'm like, what am I? Like, I looked up every version on YouTube, kept looking, and I couldn't hear what I used to. I'm like, dude, I'm like, this is weird because there's a bunch of Mandela effects out there. I've seen some, but this one was a personal one where I'm like, bro, this is not cool, dude.
Crazy.
What is going on here?
I just saw one about 2012, and multiple people have taken ayahuasca journeys and run into spirits that said the world ended in 2012.
Yeah, 100%.
Isn't that crazy?
100.
Because the Mayan calendar ended that year.
Huge, yeah, absolutely within that. I have to look more into it, but there's something that CERN, they smashed the particles together. They made the God particle. There's some weird things going on with them, but they did something within 2012 as well, right around that same time. And I do believe there's a huge shift that happened there. Big
wow.
time within that. Yeah.
I wonder what that is. Yeah, because the Mayan calendar literally ended that year.
Yeah, right in that year. And a lot of it, and see, a lot of people are thinking, there's going to be crazy natural disasters and the world's going to end. But again, the world can end in a different way that you don't see. It's beyond, it's not a physical, it's a spiritual, it's a vibrational change where things completely
right. Maybe they just shut off the grid somehow, right? And we all just collapse because we're energetic beings. We're not physical beings.
100%. We are absolutely, yeah.
And people don't know that.
Yeah, 100%. Even within that, if you look at yourself in that way, which we are a vibration, we are an energetic being. If you look at yourself as a frequency, I always like to think of it, the radio, you tune the radio. If you want to listen to country, you have to go to the country station. You can't hear country on the rock station. It's the same thing. If you want to be in a frequency of abundance, of happiness, of gratitude, you have to be there. You have to mentally change your thoughts and feelings to create that. And you have to be very conscious about it. People don't realize 95% of your day is your subconscious mind. And that is terrifying in a sense. I mean, you're only 5% of your day is you making a conscious decision.
Crazy.
That's crazy. So most people don't want to change. Their subconscious is wounded, feels abandoned, feels fearful, hateful, whatever it may be, even self-loathing. So you're going to experience more of that, which is wild.
Yeah. About that. So when you listen to these frequencies, is that the way to kind of get in that frequency?
I feel it more in a sense of a feeling, or even, again, I see it more as feelings and thoughts. And you could say like, okay, well, let me add to this. Within that is just what you said there. There is certain music that will definitely get you into that place. You know what I mean? If you want to say it like this. I want people to think of frequency like this, what you frequently see, frequency. When you think of that, that changes everything. What are you listening to? What are you seeing? What are you saying about yourself in life? That changes everything. If you're listening to good music, if you're feeling good, if everything's good, you're going to get more of that good. And if you focus on that, you know what I mean? It's really, really wild as our brain. We have this one area of it that filters out. And it's really interesting, though. The filter works in a sense of what you allow it to let come through. That's what you're going to see. Great example is if you're a sports fan, you like football, you're going to see, if there's anything to do with football, you will immediately see it in that room. If there's someone that could care less, has nothing to do with it, they won't even see it. They won't even register. And we're in the same room. It's the same thing, but our brain is allowing that in. And that goes, again, to that frequency. If you're in a good mood, if you're feeling good, you're going to find good things. Wow, that's awesome. Oh, that's beautiful. That's amazing. But if you're in this fearful mood, oh, God, what do they say that for? You know, there's this great analogy of it. If someone like has a T-shirt on, a cool band T-shirt, and if someone if they're in a good mood, if they're in a good frequency, and people say, hey, I really like your shirt. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Thank you for noticing. Now, if someone's in this frequency of fear, anger, and someone, oh, I like your shirt, they're going to say, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong with it? Or what do you mean you like it? Like they assume automatically something negative about it, and it's the same thing, but it's their perception is seeing it the wrong way.
Straight facts, yeah. Because I used to never get approached growing up of what shirt I was wearing, but now it happens almost every time.
100%, yeah. And when you're in that mindset, dude, it changes everything.
For sure.
Yeah, and just what you're doing, if you just wake up every day and say, today's going to be amazing. Thank you, God, so much for today. I'm the absolute freaking best. It's going to be so good. I'm going to be a light to the world. I'm going to add so much value to today. The day's going to be so much better.
And that's why I'm a fan of masterminds, because almost everyone there is just operating at a higher frequency, 100%. And it's infectious.
Yes, absolutely. Even to say on to that, dude, you got to, just what you said there, you need to surround yourself with good people, or in my opinion, not at all. It's better to actually be alone than to surround yourself with people you know are going to bring you down.
Wow.
It's very important.
That's a tough message for some people.
It is, yeah, 100%.
But I agree.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a pretty negative environment.
Yeah.
Divorced parents and stuff.
Absolutely,
so that rubbed off on me for sure.
Absolutely. Dude, my whole family is kind of in their own way. There's, it's I just don't gel with it. I don't see sounds really bad. Some people might not like it, but it's like I actually don't, I'm going to just say it like it is. If I don't see value in someone or something, I don't want to even be there. I just don't want to be a part of it.
Wow, you cut them off?
I really, my mom and dad for sure. I know, but the rest of my family, no. Dude,
wow.
I don't even, I have a few, I don't like the word colleagues or friends. I don't know how you'd say it. I have a few people like in my inner circle. Acquaintances that are real, like people that I really actually look up to, but they're busy doing their thing. I'm busy doing my thing. But I got rid of like actual friends. Just, hey, let's just hang out. Let's just hang out and
pointless.
Just do dumb stuff. Yeah, like I just can't.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah,
to drink or like to go to the club.
Exactly, no way. And look, the thing is, a lot of people think it's so important, and it holds you back so much from it.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's important to have someone to talk to.
100%.
Like I would consider that a friend, but just to go out and watch a sports game, that's such a negative ROI for me.
It's so bad. Yeah, 100%.
People go to concerts and it's they're listening to terrible music.
No, dude, that's a whole.
There's a lot of demonic music these days, and people don't even know. It's like,
dude, it is so bad. Yeah, it's wild if you listen to classic rock, like from like the 60s and 70s. A lot of times and I'll even say this, I think it was like Michael Jackson and a few other artists recorded in 432 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing that actually calms you down. It actually feels good when you listen to it. Where nowadays, I forget the hertz that it is, but it actually causes you anxiety, which is crazy. Gosh. I'm like, dude. Oh.
That's so nuts. I want to also talk about the Schumann resonance and all these solar 100%. Flares. So what's going on exactly?
Absolutely. So a big thing within that is an indicator of the Earth, has its own frequency within it. And there's times it's really directed within those solar flares, but then its own core in itself that it will have these huge spikes in different frequencies. And a lot of people feel when that happens, and myself included within this, I've seen this so many times, it will throw off our whole energy. If you
Wow.
will. You know, like the term, like a full moon.
Yeah.
Everyone always gets crazy. It turn into a werewolf on a full moon. It's the same thing when the Earth has these huge spikes within this. Oh, dude, I'll feel weird. And then I'll be like, you know what? I want to go check what it said, dude. And it'll be like,
damn,
I have this huge spike. And I'm like, no, dude.
And how often is that happening right now?
There's times it'll be almost every few days. And then there's some where it'll be, you know, it shows the chart. It'll have just like a massive one that hits it.
Wow.
I'll have a couple hundred of my clients message, oh my God, I felt terrible today. I felt terrible the last few days. I was angry for no reason. Someone did that. What's going on? And then I'll be like, well, this is why. Like there's something to that there all the way. And then with the solar flares, that's a whole nother thing that just adds in another layer. I'm actually studying even more within that because I feel there's something really big within that, you know, and it keeps happening more and more and more.
My calls have been dropping so often.
Yeah,
it's weird.
That's what's crazy. And then now we got the second moon, that asteroid that's hanging around, I guess, for like a month. Dude, weird things are happening.
I didn't see that. What's going on with that?
Okay, so there's this second asteroid. It came in on the 29th, and I guess it's going to leave the 25th. And they're calling it a second moon. You can't see it with the naked eye, but if you have a telescope, but it's now in our orbit for a month or so. Yeah, you got to check it out, dude.
Damn.
It's so strange. Like, I mean, out of nowhere, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we just found out a month ago we're going to have this asteroid in our orbit. And I'm like, what?
They just announced remote viewing last week, the government. Did you see that?
Crazy. No,
yeah, they've been gatekeeping that for a while.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think they've known about a lot of different things for a long time.
100%, absolutely. There's so much that, I mean, look at just what we said even earlier, just with the grass-fed cows. Like, there's so many things they keep from us and so many things they just want us to stay in a certain place and be like, oh, do this, do that. You know, don't question anything.
Right.
You know? If anything, so interesting. I think TikTok, Instagram, all of this stuff, I think they allowed it to happen. Like, they almost allowed conspiracy theorists, if you will. Oh, no, let them say all this stuff. Because it's kind of using like, oh yeah, we're gonna let them say it because to show, oh, they must be crazy. You wouldn't want to listen to them. Look at them. You know what I mean? Instead of hiding it, no, let them put it out there. Let them show it's you know. So then you really have to think for yourself. You know, go through the weeds of what is true, what isn't true.
Yeah, apparently the flat Earth stuff was a government psyop. I'm looking into that one.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much within. It's funny. I actually saw the other day a video of the astronauts. You know, they're in space doing like floating around, but they showed. They have these little harnesses on and stuff. And like, there's times I question with all that, and I'll be like, I don't know, maybe. And then I'll see something new where I'm like, bruh, come on, this is crazy. Like, and you can see him doing his little spin up and down, and you can see him try to reach for the thing and hold on to this invisible green screen harness. And
wow,
like, come on.
I mean, there's body language experts that have looked at their interviews afterwards, and they can tell they're lying.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you could pick up on those subtle cues that 100%. You don't even know you're doing.
Yeah. Did you ever see there was one of those NASA videos, and you know, like shows Earth and the space station?
Yeah.
And there's a mouse that for a second like crawls on.
No way.
And you can still find it. It's
that's
little
hilarious.
mouse crawling on it. Where I'm like, okay, gosh, yeah.
Wow.
Cool, yeah, the mouse. Like, come on.
So where are you at with this whole flat Earth and like space debate? Where do you stand?
Oh, man, you know, this is a tough one because I think a lot of times within the firmament, like that we haven't gone outside of it. I do believe astrologically there are these other planets in a sense, but I just believe we have no understanding of it. I truly do. And I think there's much more. I think this all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if there's way more continents outside of what we even know, and Earth is even bigger than we think. I mean, I just think a lot of times we are so incredibly lied to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if we really knew, I think we would like go insane if we were like, wow.
Yeah.
Like almost Truman Show, like, you know, Jim Carrey and that, like it would be almost like that, realizing, wow, we've been so lied to within things. And I think there's something big within that, you know?
There is. I think a lot of answers are in Antarctica.
Yeah, I do too.
I think
time.
every government's hiding something there. They all got a base there.
Agreed with it. It doesn't make any sense.
That's weird.
Yeah, it really, it's odd within that.
I just had on this guy, Roderick Martin, last week. He's a UFO expert. He's got me convinced these UFOs are coming from the ocean, dude.
Yeah, I've seen, dude. I agree with that 100%.
I mean,
there's, I guess maybe off the coast of even Florida, there's a lot over there, like crazy things.
A majority of the sightings are by large water mass. So
100%.
there's
I agree with that 100% within that, because I mean it's funny too, because they're like, oh, we've only explored what, like
5%,
5%,
and it's been that our whole lives.
Yeah, nothing.
They
Yeah.
don't want to
and
explore
they don't
more.
want to do anymore. Yeah, wasn't too. NASA originally, I swear on this, actually part of the ocean. Like it was originally based. You got to look that up. I swear from a long time ago that NASA actually started because it was exploring the ocean, and then they switched it over.
Crazy.
That,
it makes you
sense.
wonder if they're purposely trying to distract us with space when all the answers are in the ocean and Antarctica.
100%. And that's dude, the distractions. I think everything is a distraction all the way.
100%.
You know? I even thought about this. I don't know if you heard, like I think it's today. The off the seaports, they're striking.
Closed, right?
So they're closed. And I saw on the, oh my gosh, you better be ready. Like we could not have any produce. Oh no, car parts. And I think to myself, is that true, or is that, hey, let's put the fear out there so people buy things like crazy, so then it's more like it's. Realistically, they could say anything we want. It's going to impact certain people to go freaking nuts again,
Remember COVID, toilet paper.
Dude, I was just going to say that, dude. You read my mind with that.
Nah, but yeah, they're saying the ports are closed. There's FBI whistleblowers saying to stock up for 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
All this coming out at the same time. It's just kind of weird.
At the same time, with everything going on. It's probably the craziest it's ever been right now.
Yeah,
nuts,
but now, fortunately enough, we can see through this stuff, but most people can't.
No, they can't. No way.
They'll just believe it.
I believe next year, whatever happens, it's going to be crazy. Because, I mean, it's a snake year. It's shedding of the old, kind of resetting. Dude, I even saw this morning, it was like the newest Simpson episode. They were saying, they kept saying reset through the whole thing. There's that whole theory how the Simpsons always predicts things or shows things that have happened. But in this, it was like the season finale of it. But they kept saying, oh, we're going to just reset. We're going to reset. They kept saying that theme over and over again.
And at a certain point with The Simpsons, when is it a coincidence and when is it they know what's going on?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They predicted Trump being president like 20 years ago.
Which is crazy. And there's been, even like from 2020, there's so many little nuances that they were picking up on. And I'm like, okay, there's something. It's, again, I think there's so much that we just don't know, and there's so much that is hidden from us. But if you actually do your due diligence in it and kind of look into this stuff,
it's wild, yeah. I mean, look at how many movies come true.
Oh yeah,
like The Matrix.
Yes,
like
100%.
So many.
Absolutely. That one still blows.
There's no way they're just guessing that.
No way.
Someone has to know.
Yeah, 100%. I believe a lot of times it's what's the term? Play imitates life, or the term I'm thinking. Oh gosh, it relates basically to that these movies. It's almost kind of foreshadowing so much of what our life is like, And again, it's certain people pick up on it, and then there's others that just there's nothing there. They couldn't be bothered yet. They haven't awoken to it yet to understand. Okay, there's something going on here.
NPCs,
100%. 100%.
You've also studied sexual energy. So are you doing semen retention, or how do you view that?
A couple different ways within that. So yeah, I do believe if you do that, it's very beneficial, especially for men within this. I'm going to say this, though, very controversial here. I believe right now, a big thing, if men pulled back, if men actually stopped pursuing women, and if any young guy watching this, if you focus on yourself for 5 years to a decade and built yourself up, built your empire, did everything building you up, you can't lose. Then, I mean, you can have the best of the best. You could find the best woman. Absolutely. In this day and age, it's, gosh, like the dating scene is just so up within that. And I feel it's, God, what is it? It's like 80% of women are only interested in 20% of men, or whatever the statistic is.
Yeah, I've seen
very,
that.
very bizarre in it. But the problem is, we're men. We have testosterone. We think that way. It's just it's a natural hormonal process to want to get out there and shebang.
Right.
Like, but if we can control that desire and put that energy instead into a business, into the gym, into making ourselves better, again, you can't lose. You just cannot lose. I think the biggest issue, if men would just say no, if men would stop, if men were to say, you know what, I want to go out with you to some woman, but we're not going to sleep together for months even. I want to really take my time with it. If men said no to certain things, if men had more balls, if you will, in certain things, I think everything would change.
Right.
I think women would be happier actually, and men would be happier, and a lot of the mental health problems around that would change. You know, I think it's the act of love itself has almost become a business, or it's become a not a drug. I don't know. It's become this instant gratification strangeness.
Yeah, this body count. Who can rack up the most bodies?
Exactly. And then the problem, I mean, if you look at right now, like any girl, if she even looks remotely good, I mean, she could go on Instagram and she's going to have hundreds of freaking guys. Oh, I can only talk, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's craziness. Think about what that does to her ego, to her head. Oh my gosh, 100 guys like me, 1,000 guys are obsessing over me. You know what I mean? The problem is it takes the ego. It takes that to a whole extreme, and kind of, again, that's what we were saying earlier. We're not that. We aren't the ego. We are actually this spiritual light being. We're this vibration. But if we get stuck in that, the ego, I feel, keeps us in that box, and actually it's a place of torment and pain in the long run.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it feels good. Maybe you feel like a hot shot within a few moments, but eventually it feels just empty.
No, everyone I know long term is not happy in that lifestyle.
No way.
Like, no way.
No way.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a big reason the feminism stuff took off, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because of social media.
And you know, I believe this 100%. I will freaking live and die by this one. I believe this is all planned, because financially, in 20 years from now, they're going to have, AI companions, way more, toys for men and women, all these other things to, hey, you're so lonely, so let's capitalize on that market. Let's capitalize on the loneliness market, on all these women who are in their 40s and 50s, who never had kids, they never found somebody, these guys who are miserable and lonely in their 40s and 50s. Like, there's going to be that category. Again, I'm not saying that's everybody, but I feel there's going to be a time when you wake up and you go, wait a minute, why didn't I try to actually find someone to share this life with? Why didn't, I'm not, and again, you don't have to, I'm not saying to have a family or that you have to have kids, but it's nice to share your life with one other person, have that common goal together, building something, you know what I mean? I think there's going to be a lot
powerful.
within that. Yeah.
I agree. I'm a fan of soulmates.
Yeah, me too. 100%. That's, my wife and I have been married 14 years. We have gone through some of the worst stuff, ups and downs, worst fight. We've gone through it. We really have, but there's just been this innate knowing that it's like, you know what, we might fight, we disagree. We're human. That's normal, but we always come together on the common goal of let's share this life together. And I think that's a big thing. I never heard that about soulmates, but a soulmate is someone you share this world together. You go to battle together. You go through the good times together. You just go through it together.
I love that.
I feel a lot of people don't have that common goal.
No.
Every business, since I knew my wife, since I met her, every business we did it together. I had a pool and landscaping business. She actually taught me how to do the landscaping part.
Love that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's wild.
That's powerful, man. You got a book now, right? Triad of Spiritual Prosperity.
Yep. The Law of Abundance, Law of Detachment, and Law of Least Effort.
Boom.
Really, really good.
Yeah, we'll link the Amazon below.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to close off with here?
Man, I would say the biggest thing right now in this day and age, if you're watching this, you got to believe in yourself, and you got to truly, truly know that you can do so many good things. There's not enough people out there believing in you, telling you that you are amazing, and you truly are. Everybody, if you really woke up every day and said, God, thank you for this day. Thank you that I get another chance to be great. Life would be good.
Bars.
It'd be very good.
We'll end it there, man. Thanks for coming on again.
Awesome.
We'll have to
Appreciate
do
it,
a part 3 one day. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.